Okay, can everyone see my screen? Okay. So first off, I am going to share all these resources to you guys. Don't mind these links. I'm going to organize everything and send it to Tracy so she can send along with the recording. One of the new things we have currently created is an education-specific landing page. So before, you would have to go into Amazon Business, search for that item. Of course, you can still do that. But we have created a landing page of products you higher education, K-12, etc., education in general, we know are buying over and over. A couple things. These are all going to be Prime eligible products, right? That way we're maximizing, making sure the shipping is free, right? They're all going to be 3-star reviews or over, right? And we've done it in such a way that we have taken those products that you guys are buying in volume. You might see a lot of IT. IT really is our #1 category for education. And then the second one is office supplies as well. So just so you can see here, right, we highlight some products, but the reality is my recommendation would be for you guys to go directly into the higher education bucket. These are products that you guys are buying, that your peers are buying. Just explore it and see if there's anything here that calls your attention, right? We all know people buy Sharpies, right? So you can come in here, and these are special pricings only for higher ed. The second thing I wanted to show you guys is currently we are doing back to school specials. And so end of fiscal year, we're going to July, we're going into August. This is a specific website that again is focused on products that we know are purchased as we get closer to back to school, right? So a lot of discounts specific to education in general. And there's other resources here as well. You can see I'm going to go through quantity discounts, Prime, Amazon list, and the bulk buying options you guys have available. So, and I'll make these links available, like I said. This is just a quick example, right? So this binder, right, originally would be something that's $26. Well, currently there's an educator pricing. This has already been activated in everyone's account that is an education customer, right? So the idea is that you can filter to products that might only have education pricing, so you're leveraging this for your school, right? That's a big discount from 26 to 14. Try to make sure that you're not only leveraging those discounts, but that they're Prime items as well, right? All your schools are Prime eligible. That just means you get better business pricing and then better delivery timelines as well, whether that's 1-day delivery, 2-day delivery, really maximize the use of Prime with your account. Okay, we already went over this one. Okay. Another good example here that I wanted to share, sometimes it's not education pricing, sometimes is distributor pricing. Again, that only comes to you via using Prime for your account, right? So this is just an example of an HDMI, right? And so my recommendation when I come to Prime, give me a sec. Let me close this. Okay, here we go. If I search HDMI, and I understand this might not be new to you guys. We all have Amazon in our personal accounts. I have a lot of boxes, right, coming from our consumer accounts. So this might not be anything new, but there are tools that you do not have in your consumer account. A couple things. I would always recommend you all checking Prime items, okay? Just off the bat, anything you're buying, remember we have millions of products, just HDMI, there's over 10,000 results. Let's make sure you guys are checking anything that's Prime, okay? You will also see that some of your products have organization preferred. These are products that with Tracy, with leadership's leadership in your Amazon Business account, we know you will maximize your discount with Amazon Business. For example, this is an Amazon Prime brand, right? The other thing I want to share here is all the filters you have available. Something we do have here that you do not have in your consumer accounts is diversity certification, right? So if your specific school has a goal, a diversity goal, something you want to reach and that you want to measure, you can always check a box and make sure that you're giving opportunities for diverse sellers. There's also climate edge friendly products. We see a lot of institutions heading in that direction. We do try to make it easier for you guys to find those products that meet your diversity and sustainability goals, if you will. Okay. Tracy, any questions so far?
None in the chat.
Okay. Perfect. Another thing I want to show you guys, it's something called progressive discounts, okay? We see a lot of users, right, buying the same items over and over. And again, there's over 1 million products on Amazon, right? So this stapler is a good example, right? With progressive discounts, it's not that you have to buy 100 staplers all at once. But if we're buying the same stapler over and over, you're gonna get progressive discounts. So as an example, if your team, if your unit buys one, there's already a 13% discount, right? But over the year, your fiscal year, when you buy more and more of the same item, the discount keeps going up. So for example, a progressive discount for this item is going to be, once you hit 20, there's a 7% increase in that saving. Now, it might not seem a lot for a product that is $6.57, but the reality, and Tracy said at the beginning, the spend across all the schools is going up now, and you have all the features enabled. Now is how we are strategic in our departments to make sure we're getting those discounts. At the end of the day, $5, 20% discount, it all starts adding up, right? And so my goal is at the end of every year to make sure that you guys are maximizing these discounts that you're seeing. So maybe next time when you're buying a stapler, make sure it's a progressive discount product, right? Because when your peers, when someone's buying it, you are going to get extra discounts, right? And there's ability to go up different packaging, just making sure that you're leveraging those discounts. Okay. All right. Okay, perfect. You also have quantity discounts, right? So we discussed buying one by one, right? But I think Amazon is known as what we call tail spend, right? Those one-off little items that we're buying, maybe a stapler, an HDMI, etc. But at some level, you guys do have budgets. There is planned spend coming up. So maybe instead of buying one by one, if you're gonna need, as an example, 1,000 chairs is a good example, and we can do that type of purchases. There are certain discounts for quantity pricing, right? So let's use IT. Okay, if I go to IT, and I'll share the links, but you do have these tabs where you can go, right? These are products, right, that if you buy in quantity, immediately you're gonna get a 10% discount, right? So aggressive discounts, one by one over the year, quantity discounts, one larger purchase of an item that qualifies for quantity discounts. Okay, this is an example of IT. You have that option for Office. You have an option for a lot of products that we know higher education is purchasing, right? Our top percentage discounts is going to come from Break Room, Office, IT, Janssen, and MRO as well. Okay. Okay. All right, the next,
Carlos,
Beth, go ahead.
So a screen back, you had included the filters on the left side, and you had mentioned selecting prime items. Can you talk a little bit about the benefits for selecting prime items as part of the filter?
Yes. Okay. Great question. So I think the most immediate one when you select prime item, the most immediate one is that Amazon has it in its warehouse. Okay. It's not necessarily an Amazon product. It might be a supplier that knows our logistics is gonna be better, quicker, right? And they have the product at a warehouse. So immediately, because the product is coming from us, we have ability to do 1 day, same day, 2-day shipping, right? When it's not prime, it might be coming from a supplier's warehouse, and then we really have no control over how they're sending it, right? That might be FedEx, that might be UPS. So prime items, we control those deliveries, right? And we are able to provide quicker response. And so, for example, an item hasn't arrived, you have me as a resource so I can find out where that item is, right? As an example. Second, business prime, you are gonna get pricing that other customers don't have without business prime, right? So when you see at a, let's go into HDMI again as an example, right? This is a prime item, it's a distributor pricing, right? So if you weren't prime, you would be paying $8, right? For this HDMI, right? So that business prime that all schools have, because you guys are consolidated. We don't see a lot of schools doing this. Because you guys are consolidated, you can maximize all these discounts together, because you're in the same HQ, if you will, right? And so here, when you see prime, so it gives you 1 day, it gives you special pricing of specific product that you wouldn't receive discounts if there weren't prime. And then obviously for me, the biggest thing is the shipping, right? Without prime, it could extend 7 days. There could be a cost associated with prime. Prime, anything over $25, you're not gonna get any shipping costs. Any questions, Beth?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Casey, you wanted to add something?
No, I think that was a great explanation. And so I know we've had some issues on the campuses with deliveries and things, and by selecting prime, that, you know, as Carlos mentioned, that allows us to be able to track those shipments a little easier than with just a traditional UPS or FedEx.
It will, especially if there's a problem. I do not have control access over FedEx, UPS. I can submit a ticket, but with anything that's Amazon, I have availability to go to these. It's called the delivery experience team. First of all, we can identify where the issue happened. Second, if it's driver behavior that they leave it at the wrong place, we can try to correct that. We can change it in your system. So we do try to make sure that as we improve that process for you guys, we see those issues coming down. So we just control the experience when it's a prime item.
Great, thank you so much.
Perfect. Another item I wanted to show you is something called reorder lists, okay? So when you think of reorder list, that stapler, let's keep that example, right? Maybe that's something you guys are buying over and over. Every time you're having to come in, search that item over and over, right? We all do that. We all use that search box. But because your volumes are so high, you can do this yearly, every quarter. There is a spreadsheet that we use that might look daunting, but the reality is you add that item, right? And we get this green checkbox, and I can help anyone that's interested, right? Fill up this spreadsheet. But essentially, this is a product. This is what we called an Amazon ASIN, right? So let me grab this ASIN just to give you an example of what I mean. So an ASIN is like our product code, if you will. So if I search that number, right? I know, and I can see it. This is a trick. You know what you're going to buy. Okay. So when we think of reorder lists, okay, if we were to complete this together, or once you guys become experts, you can do this on your own, right? We can actually upload that spreadsheet. Okay. So I am going ahead. You can download the template, or I can show you guys how to do it. But essentially, you would have this in Excel spreadsheet that you can reuse, right? And we can, let me see, it's right here. It is this one. So items that you're buying over and over, you can create these lists, okay? So think about your teams. A good example of this is your teams. Maybe they have items they want to purchase and they send you 18 different links, right? Well, you know, you can buy them one by one, but what would be great is for them to share these lists, right? So here are all the items that were in that list. I didn't have to search for them. I didn't really have to do anything. They're all in these lists, right? And now they can share it with you. If you're the main buyer, they can share this list with you. They can send this list to a supervisor if you want them to approve it. It's as simple as getting that you can generate a link, right? I see a lot of institutions using links, especially for those people that are not buyers, right? That are sending it to the buyers and say, hey, here are the products I would like for you to purchase. Think about time, right? Limited time of searching these one by one lists. It's a good resource for your team to leverage. Okay. Another thing that I don't think you guys know is you can do bulk purchases with Amazon Business, okay? So in my time at Texas A&M, we used to buy a lot of IT. And again, that's our top category for higher education, right? So and this is not available on the consumer site, right? So you see this docking station, right? Something we've identified. Sure, you can buy one. What if you wanted to buy 500, right? What if you wanted to buy 200, right? So you do have the ability to purchase in bulk. So think about with COVID, we helped a lot of institutions buy 50,000 masks, right? I don't know, 10,000 test kits. Well, the marketplace price is there. The inventory might be there, but as we know with large purchases, we want to provide you guys better discounts, right? If the inventory doesn't show up in the marketplace, how can you leverage these tools, someone like me, so we can go out to the supplier, find that inventory, get you better pricing, lock prices, and deliver everything together, right? One thing that I will say, when you're buying on the marketplace, you get different little packages sent to you, right? When you do bulk purchases, they all come palletized. They all will come as best as we can do to ship it in one specific order, and we work with you to make sure that's the case. So when you think large purchases, we are able to do it. So let's just go and see what that looks like, right? So here's buying in bulk option. You could also go here and you will have the bulk ordering option, right? So what I'm gonna do is, again, with the ASIN, right? This is just the product code. Like I mentioned, all items are gonna have that product code, right? There's not gonna be a million of those products. There's only gonna be one product with that code, right? So I am gonna go ahead and start here so you guys can see what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and do, sorry, it's a demo, so sometimes it doesn't help. Okay, I'm just gonna start here. I'm gonna click buy in bulk. Okay, so you have a tool as a buyer. Okay, here it is. You have a tool that allows you to buy in bulk, right? So look, when it's one item, right, it's $296, right? Let's say you guys need to buy 200 items, right? Immediately it goes down to 287, okay? So you can add this to cart as an example, and that's it. You're gonna go through your same shopping experience through your punch out, right? And that could be it. Maybe it's an urgent request and that's it. You just wanted to bulk buy, you got a 4% discount. You're able to identify that this product is in stock, which is great. But maybe sometimes you say, hey, really, I mean, we're buying 200. Why is it 287, right? So now this is new and this is really created on feedback. We really listen to the voice of customer. Hey, I can't just quote because this price might change, right? The marketplace is dynamic, prices fluctuate. Now we are giving you the ability to request a quote, okay? This is gonna be true. You can request a quote for anything that's an order of 999 plus or an order that's 10,000 or more. So look at what you guys can do now. Okay, this is, you're requesting a quote. We'll keep the 200. You guys want a target price of 250, right? You don't have to put a target price if you don't want to, but maybe you want to get to that 250 threshold, right? You can put in an expected date. You know, maybe I'm gonna buy it. I want to buy it in July. Let me go out a little bit. And maybe you want to buy it, you know, at the beginning of August before you guys are back to school. All these docking stations are needed for your staff laptops. And again, we're just making this up. You put in your zip code, right? And it's really up to you if you want to share the institution's name to the suppliers. You don't have to. We recommend it because it allows the ability for them to know, wow, they're serious, they're interested in this purchase. But what I like about custom quotes is that it does not only go to one supplier. It goes to any supplier that sells that product. And they're able to see who's competing for this item. And as we know, with competition, prices tend to go down. So if there's 15 suppliers, they're competing for your business. So let's say you're dealing with a supplier that's outside of Amazon. Well, that's one quote. Here, if 15 suppliers sell the product, you have 15 suppliers fighting for your business. So let's go ahead and request this quote. Okay. So what will happen is you will send this request, okay? And once it is sent out, it will send to, like I said, to all the suppliers that sell this product, and everyone, all of these suppliers will show up here. So let's say there's 15, you're gonna get 15 offers, okay? And you're able to either choose the one you want, right? The other option you have is come to Carlos. I have a tool like this internally where you say, hey, I don't have time to do this custom quote. Can you help me? We need it by this time. I have a bulk buying team that could actually go negotiate for you to the supplier. So that's a second option. This one's very self-service, but I can actually also help try to get you guys the target price. I think more importantly for you is you can lock in a price and it gives you time to decide if you want to purchase it or not. You don't have, if you put a custom quote, it doesn't mean you have to purchase, but we lock in a price. You can enter a delivery timeline. And if inventory is not available in the marketplace, it doesn't mean that we can go out and get it for you. Okay, so those are some of the advantages you have here. Okay, we are getting close to 1:30, so let me show you the last thing I have for you guys. Bulk ordering. So you saw here that I selected custom quote instead of bulk ordering, right? But we do have, can't see the top of my screen. Let me try to move this. Okay. We do have the last feature. I wanted to show you something called bulk ordering. We hear from a lot of people, man, I have 30 items that I need to order for my staff, and I have to go one by one, adding them to the cart so I can check out, right? And we know that takes time and effort, and we have heard over and over, we want to be able to buy at the same time, multiple items, multiple what we call ASINs, right? So now you can create what's called bulk order, right? This is not something that you're going to negotiate. You have a list of products that you want to buy. You just want to save time and resources. So as an example, again, with the spreadsheets, right? There is this spreadsheet available. Let's say your internal user gave you the links. You can enter the ASIN, just like I'm doing here, or just take all those links and add them here. Forget about the ASIN. You can add all of the links here, right? They told you the quantities they needed, right? And so what this allows you to do is this. Oh, I think I selected the wrong one. Sorry. Let me go back. We're gonna upload that spreadsheet, and that is this one, the bulk order. So watch what happens. Again, instead of you having to go one by one, searching, finding the best offer, the best product, grab all of those products that your team was wanted you to buy, and then it automatically finds the best offer for you. So when you click there, it will tell you again if the item is in stock, who's the seller, what's the best price they found, right? And we can go down and down, and you can immediately, if it was worth it, right? Oh, that pricing seems right. You can add to cart, or you can remove that item. Let me search for this one. You go to cart, and now something that might have been one by one, you can actually purchase everything at the same time. Okay, I gave you guys a lot of information, so I wanted to give some time for Q&A. Tracy, I don't know if we had questions come in, or just make a conversation about some of the things I showed you here.
Yeah, so we did have a question come through on the chat.
Okay.
So you mentioned 999 or more for quotes.
Right.
So in the demo, we only use 200. Is there a minimum quantity that we should keep in mind for requesting a quote? Because it sounds like each time might be best then, right?
Great question. Sorry, let me clarify. If it's either up to $999 or anything that's 10K and over. So let's say you're buying an item that's $1,000 and you only want 10, it meets the requirements. Does that make sense? So it's not only quantity based, it's pricing based. As long as it's over $10,000, it doesn't matter. So that's why I use 200. It doesn't matter that it's not 999. The overall cost of purchasing was over the $10,000 threshold. So 999 is a good example. So I had a customer that wanted to buy 2,000 Yeti cups, right? I don't recall if it was over the 10,000 limit, but it was over the 999. They wouldn't have been able to purchase it on the marketplace because of that limit. So they actually requested a quote. So either over 999 or anything over $10,000, doesn't matter the quantity. Hopefully that clarifies. Great question.
Does that make sense? Did that answer your question? Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, great. Anything else while I'm here?
Yes, I have another question.
Oh,
if that's all right.
Kenneth. Hey, Kenneth, how you doing?
Good.
Good to
Long
see
time
you.
no see.
Yeah.
So we order some items directly from a manufacturer because we customize, and we have special warranties that we can buy through the manufacturer.
Right.
CDW actually has those options available to us, but I don't see those available on Amazon. Is that something we can do?
Great question. So with the custom quote tool, we can actually go out to the supplier and try to negotiate those things. So if you do have a request, hey, we needed this. So Dell is a good example, right? There's some places that only sell with 1 year. There's some places that sell with 3 because that's manufacturer warranty, right? So we can go ahead and negotiate for you. I do not have an answer for you though. I haven't seen a case where it's like a special request that they want more warranty. So when you have those use cases, we would love to compete for that business, right? If anything, it's an extra quote. The other thing I did want to mention though is we understand with like IT and especially large purchases, there's some software activity involved as well. And so we are entering this, especially for RFPs and larger purchases, we are trying to work with some suppliers to also provide the service. So right now we provide the hardware. We might in the future, a year or two from now, be able to also do the service through suppliers that have the certifications to be able to do that work for you as well. So great question.
I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
So this has only happened to me on one occasion where I had gone into our business account and I ordered what was called a bundle. It was basically a vacuum cleaner, portable vacuum cleaner with a replacement filter. It was processed, it went through, but then it was declined with not a real good reason explained. Yes. And so we had to actually find out through, maybe it was you, that because of this bundle, we were not eligible to purchase it.
Right.
That I would have to buy them separately as separate items instead of as the bundle package.
Yes.
How often do we see that?
Great question. So a couple of things. And that's a great question. Digital products, we don't sell through punch, and I'm just giving you a list of things, right? So digital products, we don't do through punch out. Gift cards, as another example, it can't be through a credit line. It has to be through credit cards, right? And then bundled products is something that we haven't been able to sort of manage with, especially with customers like you guys that are using an ERP system, right? That you're buying through a system. And so here's my recommendation. And unfortunately, it's going to take work, right? Let's say you do want to buy that bundled product. It will probably get denied. The system doesn't like when those products are bundled, unfortunately. The workaround, which unfortunately is going to fall on the admins, is they can prefer those 3 items. So if they prefer the products that are bundled, it's going to let the purchase go through. But it does create some manual effort on our end. Trust me, this is something that we have brought up to the IT team as a voice of customer request. So they're tracking that information. I will let Tracy know once we have a timeline for that solution. But yes, that does happen with bundled products, unfortunately. So let's do something. Next time you have one of those, reach out to me directly and we'll try to find a way to get that purchase for you.
And we usually don't find out until after it's been processed. So there's no way to really know, oh, this bundle won't go through. It's not until after we proceed with the requisition and so forth. So
yes, good point.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So if you do have any of those, I'd like to also be looped in just to make sure that, we can kind of monitor and hopefully manage to see, how many of these are actually, being declined because of the bundle. And then maybe we can work to resolve that.
Yes, I like that.
Are there any other questions? Okay. Well, if you do come up with any questions after we conclude our session today, please feel free to reach out to me. I will put you in contact with Carlos if needed. And then as we mentioned, we'll have the recording available for reference. We went over a lot of detailed information, so I think it's going to be helpful to have that available for future use. And with that, I guess we'll call it a day. So it's been a pleasure to have everybody here. Thank you to Carlos for putting this demonstration together for us. I hope this has been helpful. And this concludes our webinar for today. So thanks so much for coming.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Here.